Number 15, go time.
Monday, baby. Wow, what a weekend. Football stuff all over. Craziness.
Looks like your feed is a little slow for some reason. You're
Anything better? We good?
it
Connections are good. Should be good.
looks like you're moving real slow for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Let me refresh and see if we can make this work.
Okay, see if we can refresh you, so you're
Let me see what's going on. Hang on, give me a sec.
So we got preface it while we get Coach D back on here. Whole lot going on college football from this past weekend. Coach D's back. Let's see if you look better.
Better?
No.
Same?
You got a slow connection today, I guess. I don't know, but we'll deal with it. So big weekend of college football.
Huge.
I feel like you're on a delay. I don't know why that is, but with this weekend of college football, we now have our Final Four. Okay, we have a great team left out of a bowl game. We have a coaching search in Auburn that no one seems to want the job, or if they want the job, they're not meeting their demands. And then a lot of football championships in high school coming up. I think like Texas and Georgia and Florida. Florida may have played this weekend, maybe, I think, right?
Yeah, Florida just finished up. They had the weekend. They played their final games in Tallahassee at Florida State. So Florida wrapped up this weekend with, you have some pivotal, some powerhouses that pretty much win every single year that took some titles. But, I just think it's amazing that, Florida just finished playing and we've been done for how long, and believe me, there was a lot of fans at those games. So just different states doing different things and making things happen for their players and whatnot. And, we just kind of roll with the punches and keep going. But huge weekend of college football. Final Four announced. Always people going to be unhappy with it. Alabama at 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, and Notre Dame 4. To me, I think they got it. I don't know. It's interesting. What do you think?
I think they got it right. It should be expanded to 8.
Of course.
I think they got it right because I think Cincinnati and Texas A&M, I'd like to see them play. I wouldn't mind Oklahoma watching them. And then who else was the 8th team? You have Oregon. You have.
I was fortunate. I got to watch a lot of the games this weekend. I watched Oklahoma play in the Big 12 championship. They looked amazing. They looked phenomenal against Iowa State. I watched Notre Dame, Clemson. Notre Dame just to me looks like they didn't even show up. But then again, Clemson had something to prove. I watched Ohio State. Not really impressed, but I'm always somewhat of an anti-Ohio State guy, I guess you could say. But I think what a lot of people are upset about is the fact that Ohio State hasn't played as many games as the other people, and they're still reaping rewards. Look, if you look at Texas A&M, absolutely. You look at that resume where they've reeled off a bunch of wins against the SEC teams. Do they deserve to be in there? I don't know. To me, like you said, it should be expanded. That way everybody can just play it out on the field. That's how we make it work. That's how we eliminate even more of this controversy and whatnot and just go from there. Just expand the playoffs. I posted a link of Mike Lee talking about it, 3 years ago when this thing first came out. And he goes through every level of college football as well as high school football. Youth football. These guys all figure out a way to make it work with a playoff system, yet at the highest level of competition, we can't figure this thing out. Like, it really shouldn't be this hard.
No, there's no reason why it shouldn't be 8 teams. It's ludicrous that it's not 8 teams. And I'll play for you. I'll play for because it's such an enjoyable clip.
It's good, dude.
Yeah,
and look, he's spot on. He's spot on.
mean,
and he just tells you like it is, And look, yeah, he's my guy. He's a guy I look up to, but he's got it right,
Yeah.
He's got it right. He talks about going down to youth football and asking somebody and they can figure it out. He talks about how do they do it in high school. Well, they have a playoff.
Listen to him.
If they had an expanded playoff system, I think 64 teams, but I think the minimum is 16. If you have 16 teams, then I think we could settle a whole lot of these issues. It doesn't matter what the East Coast or Los Angeles or anybody in between thinks. All of a sudden, there's 16 teams. Oh, geez, number 16 beat number 4. Well, screw number 4. Number 4 is out, you see, because number 16 got them. I mean, that pretty well solve all of it, wouldn't it? And then 32, you could easily do 32. And then the other thing that I think college foolishly does is they just give the NFL December. I mean, there's no sense in that. I mean, you could be having playoff games there in December and everybody could potentially live happily ever after. And then the other thing is you could even sort the schedule in such a way that you have an off week 1 week. Half of America has an off week 1 week. The other.
I love this. Hold on. Let me get to the good stuff.
Like, well, how can that possibly be? I mean, how can we do that? I mean, how is it possible that you could actually have a playoff format in college football? Well, gee, I don't know. Start with we can go down to the local city park, and I'll bet you somebody that handles youth football could tell you how to do something like that. Well, that's too low of a scale. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay. How about high school from a major state? Let's say Texas, Florida, or California. Let's see how they do it. Okay, let's see. These guys, they win a certain number of games. They have a qualification. Okay.
He's so animated.
But they don't have just 2 or 4 teams or something. Hell no, because they want everybody to have fun and enjoy this playoff system. Okay, so then they play each other, and everybody's on the edge of their seat going to wait and see if this team's going to beat that team or going to beat the other team. And so then, in the end, there's occasionally a debate. If only this team hadn't lost to that team in this round, then this team could have won the whole thing, and that's perhaps true. But the thing that is indisputable is that at the end of the gauntlet, this team came out on number 1, and there's no debate whatsoever who's state champion. And then you can go to Division 3. Let's see, how do they do it? Oh, they do it the exact same way. Okay, now the suspense is really starting to get thick because,
the suspense
might do it differently. No, in fact, they don't. They do it exactly, boys and girls, like the and then now they've changed the initials because in this era of political correctness, they love to change initials and make it proper to say things one way instead of another. And I forget what the initials is, but then they go to 1AA. Okay, at 1AA. How do they do it? 1AA. 1AA. I mean, because that's getting closer to us, and we're really sophisticated because we're major 1A. How do they do it in 1AA? You know what? They have a playoff format, and they play it, and they figure it out. And then, okay. Well, they're all below us. Okay, what about above us? The NFL. And everybody, that just makes you feel good to roll those initials off your, like Huckleberry Finn said, some days I just have to swear to get a good taste in my mouth. Okay, so then
Reference is a classic book.
Now that makes my mouth feel good because that's the best and they're the top. Let's see here. How did they figure out their champion? Well, they in fact organize a playoff system. And how many teams are in there? A hell of a lot more than 4. And then they sort it all out. And then they have one battle after the next. And at the end, guess what? They sort out a champion. And it's called the Super Bowl. And there's not interest diminished because people are captivated by the playoffs. And the biggest sporting event every year in the history of the world is the Super Bowl. Okay, any questions?
Done. Finished. Deal right there.
Yeah.
And I posted it this weekend, and it's actually 3 years old. Like, it's not like something that he just came out with. He's said this for a while, but he's spot on, because literally every level of football does that except for college football.
Absolutely. It's so incredulous that they can't just get a darn playoff together and just bite their bullet, bite the egos that they have, put it aside, and just have a playoff so we can all enjoy to find out who the best teams are. Isn't that the point? It's not to anoint someone as a champion and say, oh, these 4 teams. Yes, we know. First of all, we don't even get to discuss when do the have-nots get an opportunity to recruit with the haves. It's impossible if the same 4 or 5 teams are always at the top, okay? And then you could argue and you go say, well, they should recruit better. How can you recruit better if the same 3 teams keep getting into the championship? If you're the best player in the country, where are you going to go if you want to win a championship? To a place that never has a chance, or a place that has a chance to win a championship? It's absurd. The day that number 8, or they should do 16, but number 8 upsets number 1, then you'll start to see parity at the top, because people will then, if you're a recruit, you can go, oh, I can win a championship by going to this place. And that's what happens. Otherwise, you got these cycles of turnover 5-10 years before a new team enters. Let's say Jimbo Fisher gets over the hump this year. He lost 1 game, and next year, all of a sudden, he gets some more recruits because he was close, and he gets into the mix. And then let's say Oklahoma now is on the outside. So now 1 new team has moved in to the – I mean, if you think about Oklahoma has basically won the Big 12 – like how many years in a row? Not now. Is he that great a coach? Yes, he's a very good coach, okay? But if you're a player and a prospect and you see something and you're someone's selling, well, we've been in it the last 5 times. Well, if you expand the playoff, other people can say that they're in the playoff, and now they can recruit off of that.
I think it's very difficult for certain, as a player in college football, if you're on a team and you're at a school and you basically start the year off knowing we can go undefeated and we're still not going to get there. And I just don't see how frustrating is that to be. If you expand it now maybe you give an outlier a shot to at least play it out on the field where it needs to be decided, not in some room at a school with a bunch of athletic directors and former coaches and administrators making decisions, not, behind closed doors. Play it out on the field, make it happen, and let's go. If you look at college basketball, March Madness in the NCAA tournament, 64 teams of the best teams in the country. I mean, you got that is one of the most exciting weeks of sports in athletics itself. And it's because you're allowing teams to play it out on the court. And every year you hear about something happening where, a 14 upsets a 3 or a 16 upsets a 1. This stuff happens, but it can only happen if it's played out on the field. And I think football needs to follow suit. And like you said, swallow their pride, make it happen, expand it. It doesn't have to be 64. It doesn't have to be 16. Make it 8 and let's go.
Make it 16. I mean,
look, you can make it whatever damn number you want. Just don't leave it 4 and don't allow somebody else. Look, you make it 16. You got some teams in here now that can prove it on the field because Florida's in after a loss. Texas A&M is in. You got Coastal Carolina in. Iowa State is in. Cincinnati is in. Teams that lost in their conference championship games that can now bounce back. Northwestern's in. I mean, you're going to have a lot of these, if you're talking this year, you're going to have a lot of teams with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, but now they have another opportunity to go play it out on the field.
And your TV ratings will go through.
Goodbye. You want to talk about money? You want to talk about
money?
Here you go.
It will go through the roof. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like they spend any time on this at all. And I just think that if you want to keep the interest of fans, you want to keep parity in the game, you want to make it exciting all the time, then other people, by expanding it, will have the opportunity. And when they have the opportunity, every once in a while, you're going to have some upsets. And you know what? Even if you don't have upsets, and let's say Alabama or Clemson are at the final two, you'll have a bunch of exciting games along the way that everyone will have loved, everyone will have enjoyed. It's going to make more money for more programs. It's going to give coaches on the rise. So let's say you're Luke Fickell from Cincinnati, and maybe he'd like to stay at Cincinnati, right?
Well, at least you're giving him the opportunity to present what he's done to the world.
He could stay there. See, here's the thing, we'll talk about Auburn in a second, but more guys will be apt to stay at their program instead of trying to advance and be able to build their own school's program if they have an opportunity. So Coastal Carolina could keep their coach. Cincinnati could keep their coach. Other teams that have one,
Iowa State with Matt Campbell. He might be one of the hottest names out there right now. Lincoln Riley, it wouldn't even be a thought in his mind to leave for a college. Now he may leave for an NFL job, but that's a little different. But at the same time, like that's exactly what we're saying. You wouldn't have so much turnover, so much of this if teams knew that they were going to have the opportunity to show what they've done, to show what they have on the gridiron, on the field, and actually play it out and let things happen.
There's no doubt about it. And it's just if they go and they make this happen, it will be so much more exciting. It seems like this is the discussion every
year.
Single year.
Every year it's an issue. And it's, it's this team. Oh, it's that team. Now, look, does Alabama deserve to be number one every year? Well, I'm pretty sure they do because they present it on the field. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to it, at least allow somebody else to get in and play them and knock them off, right? Because that's what it's really all about. Who knows? Who knows? And then you're going to get to see some more.
How about Indiana?
Not even in the mix, not even in the conversation.
6-1, only losses to Ohio State 42-35.
I mean, listen.
Not even in the discussion.
We can sit here and talk about it all we want. And look,
for Wisconsin, Maryland, MSU, Michigan, Rutgers, and Penn State.
Yeah, they ran through the Big Ten.
I mean, they're ranked. What are they ranked? They're ranked.
How about a Northwestern who has maybe 2 losses and just lost to an Ohio State? How about a Florida? How about a Texas A&M? Like, you're telling me that if a Texas A&M plays Notre Dame, the way I watched Notre Dame play the other day, I think they win by 2 touchdowns. You know? I mean, just allow them the opportunity to do it. Now, if you do it and you put it 16 teams and number 16 loses 52-7 to Alabama as the number 1, well, then you got the number 1 guy rated. That's part of it. At least you allowed them to play. I also think the other thing is that you'd get some really cool, interesting matchups that don't happen on the regular. You'd have an SEC school possibly playing a school from from where a USC or something, you know what I mean? Like you'd have some kind of interesting matchups that don't normally happen, which, you never know. Roll the dice. Let's go. I think it'd just be good for football and good for everybody. I don't know if they'll ever get there. I really hope they do. But, I'll be backing it every single time it comes up.
There's no doubt. Moving on, because we've summarized that to the nth degree. Why doesn't anyone want the Auburn job?
Pressure? I mean, to me, I don't know. I think obviously you're playing at a very you'd be coaching at a very high caliber school with a lot of eyes on you and a lot of pressure to win and win right away. They expect to be in the national championship conversation every single year. The fan base is tough, alumni tough. It's an SEC school, so every week is going to be tough. But in my eyes, if you want to be a great coach and you want to go down as one of the best coaches to ever do this, then that's a job you look at, because you're always going to be in the spotlight. And if you do well, they're going to worship you until the day till the day you die. And if you don't, then, that's what it is. I would it might be a little bit of a higher comparison, but I compare it to be, if you're a New York Yankee or you're the head coach, if you're the manager of the New York Yankees, you're going to be expected to win the World Series every year. And when you don't, it's going to be rough, and you're going to be questioned, and you're going to be ridiculed. Even when you think you're doing something right, somebody's going to think you're doing it wrong. I think it's one of those jobs. And I think right now, the way the world is, the way things are, I think people are shying away from that pressure, and they just don't feel like it's, that they need to do that in order to be successful. I mean,
I think a couple things. First of all, Auburn overestimated its own value. Number one, getting rid of a coach who is honestly has had a lot of success. Like,
what's the saying? The grass isn't always greener.
I mean, he's a darn good coach. Then the second thing is, and they can say, he didn't win a championship. Like, you're not throwing money at it like Alabama is. Like, I get it. Well, now you just threw $21 million. Hey, if I was Gus Malzahn,
you threw $21 million at somebody.
Great year for Gus Malzahn on enjoyable vacation. He'll show up as an analyst on Coach Nick Saban's staff.
Absolutely.
In a year or two. But so they get rid of him because they don't think he won enough, quote unquote. Even though he's won more than anybody since Pat Dye, I believe. And then the second thing is that they want to have. They thought they were going to get somebody top tier. Now they're not sure, and the rumors are rampant. You said Louisiana Lafayette coach turned it down.
Bill Napier.
Sarkisian turned it down. I heard they were going to interview your man from West Virginia.
And listen, Coach Neil Brown, I mean, he's been, if you follow his track record from 2004 when he was with me at Sacred Heart, to Delaware, then he went to Troy for a little while. Then he was at Texas Tech. Then he was at Kentucky. Then he was back to Troy as the head coach, and then ultimately became the West Virginia coach. My man always has something to prove. I think his offense is exciting, and that's kind of his background. So I could see that being something. I know he's comfortable in West Virginia, but that SEC, is always a way. It's always something that, in my eyes, is something that a lot of these coaches want to try. They want to get there. They feel like that's the highest level they can get to in college football. And ultimately, if he makes that move and goes there and wins, I mean, he'll be a hero.
Well, they're interviewing him.
Yeah, so I mean, look, he comes from Kentucky, and like, he's a Kentucky guy. So it's an SEC. SEC is in his blood. So I mean, it is. Look, I wouldn't put it past it, but I know he's got a good thing going at West Virginia, trying to turn that around. I mean, but it's not one of these jobs where you're going to take and have 2-3 years to make things happen. They're going to expect you to come in and do something right away. So I don't know. I'm happy for him that he's getting the interview, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe it could be Kevin Steele, maybe not.
Maybe they just, yeah. I mean, do you just stay with who you got?
I mean, they're interviewing UAB coach Bill Clark, I think it is.
Yep.
Very, very good coach, but I don't know what the issue is and why.
I'm telling you, it's very interesting.
Are they limited now? They are down to 21. They're giving out 21 million. I don't know.
In my eyes, I don't think Auburn is concerned with a money issue.
People, is it not checking the boxes? Are they like why? Like, why does he not get the interest of a lot of top guys? Maybe they do, and we don't know something we don't know. But I don't know. That's remains to be seen. That's like a minute by minute deal there, hour to hour.
It's changing on the fly. Names are flying here. Names are there. It'll just be interesting to see because I think it's something you got to have in place right away before you start losing out on guys. I mean, the NFL season's coming to an end. More and more guys are going to lose their jobs in the NFL. That's an appeal for some of these college guys. Most college seasons are over, so let's go. Who are we going to get for next year? We got to get ready for spring. It's a process that has a very tiny window, and I think that the sooner you get these things done, the better you are as a program.
So now, like, here's my issue, and I don't understand how this is even chosen, but the bowl games, Army's left off, and there's probably others. Army's left off, and then I see Monday, December 21st. Of the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
It's on now? Isn't North Texas in it?
North Texas versus Appalachian State.
North Texas, baby. I got ties.
4-5 record. And then you got Tulane.
I don't know who it is, but someone with a 2-win record. Someone has 2 wins. Oh, I believe it's South Carolina is in a bowl game, and I believe a 9-2 Army is not.
Georgia Southern 7-5 versus Louisiana Tech 5-4.
So here's the thing about certain bowl games.
5-3. I mean, how is
certain bowl games I know have certain contracts and ties to certain conferences or certain schools, per se, hey, if you have this record, you're in our bowl game. If you do this and you're from this conference, you have the opportunity to come to our bowl game. I know that's how a lot of them work. Again, I don't agree with it. Just because you have a tie to a bowl game, if you're not 500, you shouldn't be in a bowl game. I know this year is very different, and that I believe they took that out of it to just kind of get guys playing whatever. But at the same time,
ridiculous. South Carolina 2-8 is in a bowl game,
and they fired a coach in the middle of the year.
What? I mean, just replace them with Army. Ridiculous. Army, they only serve our country, those players.
Right. They don't deserve anything, right?
No, they only serve our country, and he went 9-2. Outmanned at times in many games. But 2-8 South Carolina team who couldn't beat 3 kids in a park. Western Kentucky 5-6. Georgia State 5-4. I mean, what?
It's just it's how this bowl system works. It's
Mississippi State 3-7. What the heck?
If you're not 500, you shouldn't be in a bowl game in a regular year.
7.
That's always been my philosophy.
Ole Miss 4-5. Kentucky 4-6.
I know this year is different, and we're trying to get guys playing games and doing whatever. But if you're not 500, you should not be rewarded for your season by going to a
teams not want to play. Is that part of it? I know LSU is not.
LSU's a little different. LSU has self-reported, right? So they're punishing themselves in a year. They probably wouldn't have made a bowl game anyway.
Is Indiana not playing?
Indiana's not playing. I think they've said no. There are some teams that have said no because of COVID issues and things like that. But at the same time, like I said, I don't think you should be rewarded if you're not 500. It's just what I believe. It's just kind of how it is. Like I'm not in the business of, and was sure as hell not raised in the give everybody a trophy era. Or any of that nonsense. I don't believe in that. I don't think you should be rewarded unless it's so you produce something worth rewarding.
Absolutely. 100%, Lenny. Husky, by the way.
Another one.
That's my man right there. His son made our 7-on-7 U15 team.
That's going to be a phenomenal team, I'll tell you right now, looking at some of those names. Good. Woo, look out, boys.
Good players on there. I just cannot believe that they don't. that they have picked in the team. So let's pick this bowl championship. I'm going to get your picks. Here we go. You ready? We'll start from the bottom. Oh wait, no, Indiana is in a bowl game. I'm wrong. I was wrong. Okay, here we go. All right,
I like watching that offense, man. Indiana's offense can fire.
All right, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Our
Oh.
Appalachian State versus North Texas. Appalachian State 8-3, North Texas 4-5. I don't know anything about either of those teams. I will just go off of that. Appalachian State was the 1AA champs back in the day, and I will say that Appalachian State wins that game. You?
I'm going with North Texas Green Machine because I have ties there. Former coach that I coached under, Jimmy Matsakis, his brother is the DFO for the Mean Green. So I will go with North Texas.
Well, now I know that North Texas is definitely losing. Okay, here we go.
I'm just telling you. That's Seth Luttrell, brother.
All right, December 22nd, which is tomorrow. Albertson Stadium. I'm not a big fan of Albertson stores, but I get it. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I am a fan of Idaho potatoes. So we got Tulane versus Nevada. That's a joke. Nevada.
Nevada all the way, man. I'll take Nevada.
Who's that? Norvell's the head coach there.
Yeah.
I met Coach Norvell when he was at the University of Oklahoma. And we used to have our camp. We used to have our camp there, our top prospect camp, and he was one of the guys that would greet me when we first get there the day before, and just talk to me. And he was a real good guy. All right, the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, whatever.
Boca's a great place.
Roofclaim.com. That sounds like an insurance company.
That too.
At the FAU Stadium, UCF versus BYU. That's a good game.
That's going to be a really good game. I like that. And you know what? It's two. UCF is going to have a good quarterback. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That might be like a 61-50 something game.
61-50 something. Yeah, I mean I'm going. I'm going to go BYU.
I'll go UCF because I like my Florida boys.
Louisiana Tech, Georgia Southern. My old head coach is the head coach of Louisiana Tech.
So does that mean you have to take La Tech?
No, it doesn't mean I have to take anything. I don't know who's any good.
We don't know anything about any of these games. We're just going off the whim. I'm taking Georgia Southern because I don't think anybody can stop triple option and prepare for it whenever. So I'm going Georgia Southern.
They run the triple option?
Yes.
Sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Bulldogs have won 6 consecutive bowl games. Go with them. All right, Louisiana Tech, that is. The Montgomery Bowl, Memphis versus Florida Atlantic. Montgomery has a bowl game now. The Crampton Bowl, the famous Crampton Bowl, where the Senior Bowl is, if I'm not mistaken. Memphis versus Florida Atlantic. The guy who runs used to run the Montgomery Convention Bureau is a real good man. Son played for Alabama State. And I went there a couple times to visit, to look at facilities. Memphis versus Florida Atlantic. 7-3 Memphis, Florida Atlantic 5-3. Don't know much about. I know a little bit about Memphis. I like Memphis. I'm gonna go with Memphis. What do you go with?
Florida Atlantic.
All right, good. All right. Oh, all right. Let Lenny pick UCF and then pick Memphis. Good. Okay. All right, Lenny. We got you in the mix there, buddy. Okay, so now we got, let's see.
First off, the names of some of these bowls are absolutely ridiculous.
Should I maybe share the screen so people could see what we're seeing, maybe? Now that I thought about it, that might not be.
You have some breaking news.
No, I'm just yeah.
No, I said I have some breaking news.
Oh, you know what's breaking news?
New Paramus Catholic head coach John Whitehead steps down.
Oh.
Steve Rybeck this year's offensive coordinator for them
Who's taking over?
is taking over.
I don't even know that.
He's 35 years old, a 2003 Paramus Catholic graduate, started coaching in 2006, spent time at DePaul and Bergen Catholic. This is the first head coaching job. Paramus Catholic comes off an 0-6 season in 2020. Yeah. Okay.
All right, moving on. Good for him.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, so we're going now. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, you're good. Little tiny, but we'll make it work.
All right, horrible ESPN website. Okay, here we go. But I have to use it because what else am I going to use? All right, Thursday, December 24th, New Mexico Bowl, Hawaii versus Houston. I guess Houston's not any good anymore.
I'm going Hawaii.
I'm going with the Rainbows too. I
Rainbows or the Warriors?
Oh, what are they now?
I don't know. They got two names.
Are they the Rainbow Warriors?
They might be two names. I just like their logo. I'm with it, and I like their colors.
They used to be the Rainbow Warriors. What is Hawaii's nickname? Football. I gotta figure this out. They're called the War. Wait, Hawaii teams use three different nicknames. The football team is known as the Warriors, while the basketball team is known as the Rainbow Warriors. Okay, that's weird. All right, so the Warriors of Hawaii. We're both going with them. All right,
They're traveling.
The Camellia Bowl, Marshall versus Buffalo.
Oh, I gotta go
game.
Buffalo.
Good game.
I gotta go Buffalo.
Good game. Oh, and Lenny gave us Hawaii. That's good. Good to have. We love participation. Thank you, Lenny.
I gotta go Buffalo, buddy.
Buffalo. You're going Buffalo because of the running back. You like Jared Patterson.
Actually, I like him. I do, but Savon's up there. Savon Huggins is a New Jersey alum coaching up there, and I have a player up there that I coached at Bosco that's finishing out his career as a corner. So I got some ties to Buffalo, and so I'll go with them. The Bull. What is it? The Bulls.
Buffalo Bulls. We used to love spanking them when I was at UConn. So
probably one of the only teams you could beat on the regular. But here we go.
Oh, wait, was Montclair State on our schedule? Oh, no.
Probably would have competed better than some of the teams you beat, buddy.
Listen,
well, can we just continue? Can we just continue with the bowl picks, please?
Maybe we should have been Sacred Heart. Okay, here we go.
They would have. I'm not even going there.
Neil Young was there.
I'm not even going there. It would have been the same match.
Neil Young was there. I mean, Neil Brown.
Here we go. Let's go. Continue, please.
Right.
Continue. I'm not doing this on a Monday.
Buffalo Bulls. I'm going to go with them as well. Okay, Saturday 26th, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl.
How do you even fit that on a shirt? Like,
I don't think you get that on a T-shirt.
Oh my god.
I like Lenny went with Marshall. By the way, we got to give him props.
I do like Marshall though, man. Those kids always seem to play hard.
Play hard. Buffalo Bulls both good coaches.
I just love how we're picking.
Do you know that
we're picking these blind? We literally have no idea about anything.
I watched Buffalo. I haven't really watched.
Oh, well, that's. I mean, a little. One or two
on the same team every year. They're pretty good all the time. And they were the 1AA Kings back in the day. So I think you know the answer to this, but can you name the head coach of Marshall's name? And it's a famous name because it's also part of Western, I guess, lore. I don't know how you would say it, but Western, the old West Cowboys.
What, because they're the Thundering Herd?
No, the head coach's name.
No, I'm saying it has something to do with that or no?
No, it's just a famous old Western cowboy from back in the day.
I don't know, Billy the Kid.
Look, Letty said to be nice.
Look, we get emotional on the look. Lenny, you know when anybody talking smack about your alma mater or the colors that you wore on the field, you get fired up, man. This guy thinks, I get it, whatever. Huskies, I don't know. Could a Husky beat a Red Hawk in a fight? I'm pretty sure a Red Hawk has some talons.
That's complicated. I don't think I know the answer to that one.
Yeah, Husky's a dog.
All right, so I'm going to give you the name. The head
Lenny
coach.
said John Wayne.
John, that's incorrect.
The
Doc Holliday.
Wasn't Doc Holliday just Wyatt Earp's partner?
Yes.
So he was the number 2.
That's the head coach, Doc Holliday. Or is he now? Wait, you know what? Did he retire? Hold on. Is Doc Holliday?
All I know is that story, like in the movie We Are Marshall, where with Matthew McConaughey, that story itself of the plane crash and losing the entire team is absolutely brutal. So to rebuild that from wherever, always have so much respect for that program, no matter what.
Doc Holliday, head coach of Marshall, record 85-51. He only makes $755,000 a year. Unbelievable. But he always wins. Doc Holliday, man.
And he probably puts in more work. I mean, and I don't know I don't think he was there, but if you think about some of the guys that Marshall's put in the NFL, it's not just guys playing. I mean, you're talking superstars. You got 2 quarterbacks and then Randy Moss. Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, forget it. All right, moving on. Oh, so we're at the Gasparilla Bowl. South Carolina versus UAB. South Carolina 2-8, UAB 6-3. Is Beamer coaching the game?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, I'm going with UAB. I think there's too much going on at South Carolina right now for them to do whatever. There's too much going on, too much off the field stuff. UAB.
UAB beat Marshall for the championship, so I'm going to go UAB.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game. The Blazers, man, they got a great logo.
The Blazers. All right, Cure Bowl. Okay. Liberty Cure, like the singing group, The Cure. Do you know who The Cure is, by the way?
Absolutely not.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to get some stuff.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness! I can't believe this. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to, get you a little bit of The Cure here. I can't believe you don't know who The Cure is. You don't know who The Cure is?
I'm sure if I hear a song, I'll know who they are. I'm not a music guy. I could care less.
It's the 80s. Here we go. Let's go.
What movie is it from?
I don't know. It's the 80s.
I know. I feel like I'm in the Breakfast Club.
It might be from one of those movies.
I can't. Oh, I've heard this song. Yeah, I've definitely heard this. I'm in love.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I got it.
That's The Cure. There you go. All right. Moving on. So the Cure Bowl, Liberty versus Coastal. That's a good game.
Well, that was originally supposed to happen. That's why Coastal ended up playing BYU. I think that'll be a really great game, but I got to stick with Coastal, man. I'm on the Coastal bandwagon all the way.
I'm a Coastal believer. I'm with you on that one. Coastal all the way. Coastal.
And if you notice, they locked up their coach for a couple more years real quick after they beat BYU.
No doubt. Okay. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. Serve Pro, I think those are the uniform guys, or that different company. All right, UTSA versus Louisiana. Wow. So Texas San Antonio actually has a 7-4 record. I think I made fun of them early in the year. Shows you how little I know. All right, Louisiana 9-1. I do know that they're good. This is the best season I think that the Raging Cajuns have had in many, many years. And thinking of Raging Cajuns, one of my favorite fast food restaurants in Louisiana, I think that was their thing, the Raging Cajuns. It's what was the name of it?
I'm taking them all the way. So
yeah, the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, all day, just by name alone.
By name alone, what was the name of that restaurant? It's a catchy name. Restaurant in Louisiana. I gotta find it for you. Oh, I know what it's called. Raising Cane's. You ever eat that? Fast food? Oh,
Because I've been to Louisiana.
by the way, on my on my diet, I'm already down. I started at 291.9. I am 287.8.
In what, 4 days?
3 days. Yeah, I guess that's just the fourth day of it. Yeah.
Good for you, brother.
There we go. We gotta go. Pound a day. All right, here we go. You get you on it. Come on, man. Get you my health coach.
Oh, we're going. Don't worry, we're going.
Oh, by the way, yeah. So I mean, that's my spiritual coach that's over there, right there, and chiming in today. So we
All right, Lenny. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
Thank you for keeping my man's spirits on point, because if not, I'd have to just deal with more than I already do.
My relationship with the Lord.
Amen.
Okay, here we go. So now we gonna go to
How many? There's so many bowls.
I'm going through all of them. Leonard Tree Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Georgia State at Ladd Peebles Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Don't know where that is.
I know nothing about either of these people. Who is it? Western Kentucky against who?
Georgia State.
Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I think I'll go with I don't know.
I know Western Kentucky is red. I like red, so I'll go with that.
I'll go with Georgia State. All right. Moving on. The Cheez-It Bowl. You got to make sure those things are cooked to perfection, Cheez-Its. Number 18, Miami versus number 21, Oklahoma State.
Miami all day. The U. Here we go. Bounce back after an embarrassing loss to UNC. All day. All day. All day.
I'm going to go Oklahoma State. Gundy's a great coach. North Carolina exposed Manny's defense. Oklahoma State will expose it as well.
They're not going to lose to a coach with a mullet.
He's the one coach with a mullet that can coach. The Valero.
How come he's not? Why wouldn't he look? Why wouldn't somebody try and pull a trigger on him for Auburn? No?
I think listen, have you seen Boom Pickens built an incredible facility there. All right, here we go. The Valero Alamo Bowl.
Actually heard of that one before.
Number 20, Texas versus Colorado, who only has one loss.
Texas.
I'm going with Texas.
What is it? This?
What's that?
Isn't this the Texas thing?
Texas versus Colorado.
Texas.
Oh, okay. Wednesday, December 30th, Duke's Mayo Bowl. Duke's Mayo. Never heard of Duke's Mayo. I wonder if it's good. Wake Forest versus Wisconsin at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wisconsin all day.
Not even a question there, in my opinion. Okay.
Jalen Berger with 2 touchdowns. Right now.
Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl, number 15, Iowa versus Missouri. Iowa 6-2, Missouri 5-4. I don't think this is
I'm going Iowa.
Me too. Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, number 6, Oklahoma versus number 7, Florida.
Great game.
Great game.
Side note, Kyle Pitts, tight end for Florida, probably their best receiving threat offensive player, will not play in the game because he's leaving for the NFL. I'm going Florida. I watched them play against Bama. I think their defense will expose Oklahoma, and I think they'll smash Spencer Ratliff or Rattler, whatever his name is. I think Oklahoma relies too much on him running around, and I don't think he'll be able to run around on an SEC defensive line. I
agree with you. I just worried a little bit about Florida showing up and caring, but yes, I agree.
That too. That does factor into some of these bowl games. Do they want to be there?
Yep.
I would hope so.
I'll go with Florida. I think it's going to be a shootout. All right, Thursday, December 31st, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. How they don't invite Army to the Armed Forces Bowl is beyond me. Number 24, Tulsa versus Mississippi State, 3-7. I have to go with Mississippi State.
Of course. Well, I'm going to go, no doubt. Even though Tulsa played tough this weekend. I mean, they looked pretty good. But
tough. All right, Arizona Bowl.
Whew.
Ball State versus San Jose State. San Jose State undefeated. You could argue deserves an opportunity.
If you had 16, they're probably in there.
Ball State 5-1.
I'm going San Jose State. I like their colors.
You like the yellow and blue.
Yeah, do you think about why?
Saddlebrook?
Yeah, right.
Oh, all right. Well, Butler. They have the Butler colors. Okay.
It's funny that they're actually the same colors, just different shades of whatever it is.
I think they just swapped. You guys are more predominant with the yellow, and we're more predominant with the blue.
Correct. And you're navy, we're royal, you're like you're a true gold, and we're said to be gold, but it's more of a yellow.
Yeah, we are. You're right. Actually, I used to like I liked their colors a lot at Saddlebrook.
Well, you're a navy blue guy.
Yeah, I like navy and I like the gold. I think those are good colors.
And I can't stand navy blue in any way, shape, or form. I need black in everything.
Although my favorite uniforms, I like our uniforms at Red Bank. Actually, they're pretty.
I do. I like the burgundy and maroon.
Yeah, it looks good.
I like that, and the white, and that's not because we're there. It's the second school I've had with those colors. Obviously, I flock to that. So I definitely, it's definitely a cool combination. That's for sure.
And Old Japan was navy and gold, so I like those colors.
And Indian Hills,
but they weren't as navy-ish. But they were pretty decent.
And colors. what was Palisades Park? Blue. So ours are really cool. We were navy, maroon. You've been blue everywhere you've went, bro.
We were navy, maroon, and because Leonia is maroon, and Palisades Park was blue. So our uniforms were blue with maroon shavings and white, which I thought was cool. And we had the most unique helmets in all of football, the Eye of the Tiger on our helmet. People thought they were bug eyes. All right, we're moving on. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, West Virginia. I don't even have to guess who you're going to pick. West Virginia versus Tennessee at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mountaineers all day.
You think team? Tennessee, huh? Yeah.
Tennessee is like a total.
Yeah. West Virginia, I'm with you. The Mercari Texas Bowl, whatever that is, it must be a company. TCU versus Arkansas.
I'm going TCU just for the colors.
Yeah, I love the horn.
And listen, I cannot stand purple for a certain reason.
I hate purple.
Right. You hate purple in general. I hate purple because I can't stand a certain school up the street. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason behind the purple thing. But when I first saw, and this is a throwback, LaDainian Tomlinson in purple and black with a tinted visor, spatted back black cleats, wearing a single digit playing running back, it was game over for me. And TCU, look, the Horned Frogs, really? Like, what a great mascot. So let's go. I'm going TCU.
All right, you're going TCU. I'm going TCU. Friday, January 1, Chick-fil-A, one of my favorite restaurants. Peach Bowl versus Georgia versus Cincinnati. Great game.
Phenomenal game. I got to go with Georgia, though. Kirby Smart. I just think Georgia gets it done.
I think Cincinnati has an upset.
I like that. I like that pick, though. I do. I'll take Cincinnati with the points.
There you go. The VRBO, which is where I think you book if you're going to go on a trip.
Lenny's with me. TCU, Georgia.
What's that?
Your boy Lenny, he's got TCU with us, Georgia.
Well, I went Cincinnati. Okay, VRBO Citrus Bowl, Auburn versus number 14, Northwestern.
I'm going Northwestern getting to play in some warm weather. And obviously Auburn, I just think can't handle the whole coaching situation thing right now, even though they have a good guy as an interim. I just don't think they can figure that out. I'm going Northwestern in that Citrus Bowl.
Me too. I know Northwestern's going to take that.
Can I ask you a question? Is
They're
that
gonna take
being played at Camping World Stadium?
It is at Camping World Stadium.
Been there a ton of times. Very interesting place. That's for sure. The surrounding area. Very interesting place.
Camping World Stadium, the old Citrus Bowl?
100%.
Oh, I've been to
Which is normally where they hold the Florida State Championship games. For some reason this year, they moved it to Tallahassee.
You know, we got a couple of Lenny's picks in here. Northwestern. Oh, okay, thanks a lot. All right. Now we're moving on. Okay, because I picked Northwestern, you picked who? Northwestern?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you can't get better than the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Kentucky versus North Carolina State. That's a snoozer. I'll take North Carolina State.
I'll take Kentucky
I knew you
because
were gonna say that. I knew it.
I like Stoops, man.
I knew you were going to say Kentucky.
I like Mark Stoops.
There you go. He's a good coach.
And I have ties, once again, one of Coach Matsakis' brothers is the special teams coordinator. I'm sorry.
I knew that was going to be the case.
I have to go where come on, man.
Okay.
Move on. Go ahead.
We're moving on. Outback Bowl, number 11, Indiana versus Ole Miss. Well, that's a good game.
Is that at Camping World as well?
That is at Raymond James Stadium.
Oh, right down the block from the condo. What's the date? Let's make a trip.
Why does it not say the date there? It says
That's usually a January something bowl.
January 2nd. January 2nd.
Oh, New Year's in Tampa? And then what is it? Ole Miss. Who is it? Ole Miss and who?
Indiana.
Ooh! Does Coach Partridge's defense get lit up again?
Well, I don't know. Michael Penix is hurt, so
I gotta stay on the lane train. I'm going Ole Miss. Plus, come on, man, jersey ties, bro. Marquise is on the sideline signaling in all kinds of stuff for the defense. I don't think it's helping any, but Coach Partridge will figure it out once he gets his guys, I hope. I'm in support of it. I'm going Ole Miss, man. I just hope they don't wear those powder blue uniforms. God, those are awful.
I think I want Indiana to win.
Yeah, you definitely do.
All right.
You're a Big Ten guy.
PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
I wonder if everybody's getting a PS5.
By the way, I do love Ole Miss. By the way, that's supposed to be the best time ever. Ole Miss tailgating. All right. PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, number 25, Oregon versus number 10, Iowa State. That's a good game.
Absolutely, but you know where I'm going.
Why Oregon so low rank? 25?
Because they lost a couple games. They were the Pac-12's shot to get in the playoff, and when they lost, everything else went out the window. And they weren't even supposed to play in the Pac-12 championship because they lost, but because Washington went down with COVID, they got the opportunity to play USC and then beat them.
Okay. All right.
But you know where I'm going.
I'm going Iowa State. I mean, all day.
I'm going Oregon, baby. Nike swoosh. God knows what uniforms they're coming out with. Speed against Iowa State. Oregon all the way.
I'm going Iowa State. They're going to pound it with Brees Hall. He's going to carry the rock right over those Oregon Ducks. All right, send them right back to the beach. Capital One Orange Bowl, number 5, Texas A&M versus North Carolina. That's a nice game.
That's going to be another point scoring, whatever. UNC with New Jersey alum Phil Longo as the OC, but not happening. Jimbo's pissed. I'm going with Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. He's out to prove a point. Okay.
Oh, he's gonna if he can score 70. The only reason he wouldn't, I think, is because of a respect factor for Mac Brown. But other than that, he's coming out.
Back all time.
Ooh, that's a nice argument.
That's,
I don't know. I think Adrian Peterson's right there.
mm,
Are we talking college or NFL?
NFL. It has to be NFL.
If we're going NFL, of course. Tomlinson was like a scoring machine. He never stopped.
Peterson had a pretty good career. Okay.
Still playing, by the way. Still playing and scoring touchdowns for the Lions.
Right. College football playoffs.
We're making these picks already?
Yeah, Alabama versus Notre Dame.
Alabama by 3 touchdowns at least.
Agreed. Clemson versus Ohio State.
Clemson by 2 touchdowns at least.
Agreed. And then we'll deal with the championship when we get there. All right, that's it for now. I think we covered everything. Oh, we're gonna.
How about this? This is something interesting. Just to whatever. So this was released on ESPN, right? Randy Moss says he's the best receiver in the history of the game. He puts Terrell Owens second and Jerry Rice as maybe the third or fourth guy in the history of the NFL as far as receivers. Jerry Rice's response was, he can rank everybody wherever he wants, but it's about the rings.
Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time.
Randy Moss feels like he is.
Randy Moss should have been the greatest receiver of all time.
You think so? You think he underachieved?
No, I think he had some years where he achieved greatly. Well, let's compare the numbers. Why don't we go to the playbook here?
I think Jerry stayed too long.
Jerry Rice versus Randy Moss stats. Let's pull it up.
Jerry Rice stayed too long, but I think Randy Moss had a bit of a hiccup in the middle of his career when he went to Oakland, and I think he kind of went out the window. Nobody knew about him for a year.
Well, let's do some comparison.
Ooh, Lenny agrees with Moss. And that's a great question, Lenny. What is the definition of greatness? Is it rings or is it stats?
Well, let's do it. I happen to pull up the Jerry Rice versus Randy Moss comparison, courtesy of Google.com. And here we go. Let's see. All right. Randy Moss played with 5 teams. Jerry Rice with 3. Position, height, Randy Moss has him. Super Bowl wins, Jerry Rice 3, Randy Moss 0. Super Bowl MVP, Jerry Rice. Super Bowl appearances, Jerry Rice 4 times, Randy Moss twice, didn't win any. Playoff appearances, Jerry Rice appeared in the playoffs 15 times, Randy Moss 7. Seasons played, Jerry Rice 20 seasons, Randy Moss 14. Okay, Hall of Fame. Randy Moss obviously must be in the Hall of Fame already. Number retired. Okay, NFL MVP, Pro Bowls. Jerry Rice has 13. Randy Moss has 7. AP first team All-Pro, 10 for Jerry Rice, 4 for Randy Moss. AP second team, 2 for Jerry Rice, 0 for Randy Moss. NFL receiving yards leader. 6 times Jerry Rice, 0 for Randy Moss. NFL receiving touchdown leader 6 times for Jerry Rice, only 4.
When you're talking statistics, it's Jerry Rice all the way. You're talking rings, it's Jerry Rice all the way.
Okay, I mean, what else are you talking?
I'm just I don't know.
Exceptions. Jerry Rice 1,549. Randy Moss 982.
Yeah, I disagree with Randy Moss, even though I was a huge Randy Moss fan.
I love it. No.
My first screen name on AOL was Moss8416. So, yes, did I love Randy Moss? But I do not think he goes down as the best receiver of all time. I think that belongs to the GOAT and Jerry Rice. Just plain and simple. That's just how it is.
Well, yeah.
Is Randy Moss in the top 3? Absolutely.
Is he in the top three? Who's
Now,
your
look, obviously, I don't go back as far as you do, and I think some of these receivers playing today will ultimately their numbers. I mean, Jerry Rice played in an era when throwing the ball wasn't the thing to do. Correct?
Listen,
Can we agree on that?
those numbers when they didn't throw, they throw.
Could you imagine Jerry Rice today?
He'd have 2,000 receptions. Come on.
I agree. It's an era thing. 100%.
Maybe the DBs were slow. I don't know, but
you just didn't play DB the same way. You didn't have as many opportunities. Think about how many more interceptions Deion Sanders would have playing in this era.
Who would you rather cover? You think you would rather cover Lenny? You think you would rather cover Jerry Rice, and then he would rip you for 25 receptions.
Well, here's the difference, okay? And this is what I will tell.
Because his speed is not the same as Randy Moss, but Randy Moss is just going to go vertical. I mean,
that's my argument. Is here the thing? You're looking at two different types of receivers, right? So Randy Moss is going to have 3 catches for 140 and 2 touchdowns on you, where Jerry Rice is going to have 12 catches for 126 and a touchdown. Okay. So what do you want to do? Pick your poison, brother. Like, do you want a guy who's going to have 12 to 15 catches on you and score maybe 1 touchdown? Or do you want to have a guy that's going to have maybe only 3 catches, but 2 touchdowns and 210 yards receiving, you know? And look, Lenny's right. You know, you can't cover 6'5" with 4.3 speed and a 42-inch vert. And ultimately, Lenny, look, as a defensive back, you know, with you can do everything right and still be wrong, because a perfect ball will be perfect coverage every single time, no matter what. The hardest position in football physically to do, I'll argue it till the day I die, is play corner. Hands down, that's it. I don't care. You can talk about a quarterback being whatever. Physically demanding is a cornerback position. No doubt.
Okay, so here's my trivia question. I have 2 trivia questions for you. If you can name them, you get a prize. Okay, what high school did Randy Moss go to?
High school?
High school.
I watched the E60 on him too, or the 30 for 30, which one it was. I can't tell you.
The name is different than it was back then. But
is he from Virginia or West Virginia?
West Virginia. He's from West Virginia.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I do know which college he originally attended.
He went to DuPont High School. And do you know who he played basketball with?
Wasn't it like Allen Iverson?
No. Allen Iverson is from Virginia. Hampton Roads, Virginia, actually.
I don't know, but I can't even imagine Randy Moss
named Mr. Virginia in football.
He probably lived above the rim.
Oh, you're right. It was Rand High School. That's correct. It's Rand, not DuPont is the town. Rand High School. That's correct.
It's interesting. I do know what college he went to.
Was it Rand is the town? Hold on. Let me check. Come
on, Lenny. You know it's tough for Dave to admit he's wrong.
Wait, I thought it was DuPont High School. Hold on. I thought it was Rand was the town. But maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was DuPont High School, but maybe I thought it was DuPont. No, I was right. I'm right. Come on, man. I was right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh,
I was right.
You played with Jason Williams.
Rand is the town. Jason Williams, that's correct.
I totally and you know what? I should know that because Jason Williams was my guy when I played basketball in high school. I even wore number 55 for a year because of him.
And Jason Williams
he actually has a son right now who plays at IMG.
Jason Williams, basketball or football?
Basketball.
Jason Williams was also the quarterback, I think, of the football team.
Point guard, man. He was a freak.
Point guard.
He did some wild stuff, dude.
Can you believe those two guys are from the same high school?
Could you imagine playing just like, first off, like, could you just imagine Randy Moss? I mean, what did he do? Just live above the rim? Like, was it just like, hey, I'm just going to throw it up and we're going to jump over everybody? And then you look at Jason, like, and what's crazy is they both had their issues and ended up at different colleges than they started at.
Yeah. They went to
Randy Moss originally had, two spots. Notre Dame,
Florida State,
then to Marshall, where he finished up. Jason Williams, how interesting is this? Same thing. I believe he was at University of Florida and finished at, I believe, Marshall. I'm going to have to look that up.
Maryland? No.
Who? No, definitely not Maryland.
Jason Williams finished at Marshall?
I want to say so, brother.
Let me see.
And you know what's great is he won a title.
So many Jason Williams.
Hey, look here, it says it right here. DuPont High School in West Virginia. And here's the deal. I'm wrong. He started at Marshall and transferred to Florida because I believe Billy Donovan, who was the head coach at Marshall, left and took him with him when he went to Florida. Very interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. You're right. Yeah. And
Fourth round selection of the draft. Love it.
What round was he? First round.
He was a first round pick.
He was really good. Yeah. So that's a heck of a two athletes to be there at the same time. They're probably the most famous athletes by far of DuPont High School.
Yep, and I was spot on when I said that. When Marshall coach Billy Donovan accepted the head coaching position at University of Florida in the summer of 96, Williams decided to transfer and follow Donovan. He sat out 96-97 because the NCAA requires that when you transfer, and became the starting point guard for the Florida Gators men's basketball team in 1997.
And how about this? So that's
phenomenal.
If you remember the Rand thing, there was Jason Williams, Randy Moss, and then there was a linebacker that played in the pros that I think they played with. Or maybe he was after them. I don't know.
Even if they played with a bunch of D3 guys.
No,
could you imagine?
On that same team was Randy Moss, Jason Williams, and then Bobby Howard, who played for Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. So, that's not bad.
At Notre Dame and played briefly for Chicago Bears. He was also a teammate. That's interesting. Rand University. That's
the name of the E60, right? Or the 30 for 30, which one it is.
Yep, that's it.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. Well, good show today.
Absolutely.
I'm good. Anything else? Anything in the kitchen sink?
Listen, there's one thing that I thought was pretty.
The old people first, for goodness sakes.
Listen,
how hard is that? It's not rocket science.
The ones who need it should get it. I'll tell you that. But I'll just tell you right now, one of the coolest and I thought best things I saw this weekend was Tiger Woods and his son playing golf together, and his son absolutely killed it.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I'm glad you reminded me.
Absolutely.
Let me get Tiger Woods.
I think it's awesome. I think the picture is the picture of the year with both of them in their red shirts. I just think it's absolutely friggin' awesome. I've always been a Tiger Woods fan. Say what you want about him. My man had his struggles before and done his thing, but it's just, I think it's awesome.
Let me see if I can get this. This was a great clip.
It was. The fact that his son is, you got pictures of them fist bumping and it's just one of the coolest things ever.
Let's share this so the fans could see. This is a great part of the kitchen sink.
I mean, they're playing in a championship, like a PNC championship together. It's so cool.
Right?
Look, they purple on one day.
Just
You know,
and we believe it was 5 wood. There you go.
beast.
175 yards with Dad watching close by. You can hear Tiger say, awesome shot. And it was. It's within about 4 feet for eagle. And so Charlie steps up. He says, Dad, I got you on this.
Man.
Eagle of the day at the par 5 third. And you can see, Justin, how excited.
Wow.
Just earlier. And
Oh, my. Look at that rip, man. Are you kidding me? Love it. That's great stuff. On that, that's a good feel good on the way out. Tiger
All
Woods.
right, brother.
It looks great. Great show.
Let's do it again tomorrow. God bless.
We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to give you a quick call. I have something I have to ask you. All right. Have a great day.
All right, brother.